Hello everyone and welcome back. This is game 2 from me and Dave. We did a doubleheader. If you watched game 1, it was the previous battle report, and we knocked out a quick Scave versus Wood Elf game, and it was quick enough that we can bang out a second one in the same night, which is awesome because our buddies were still playing their first game. So let's get on into it. My list, I'll have a link in the description below if you want to check it out. And then this is the same list from last game for the Wood Elves. If you want to check that out, I'll go in more detail in that one. The only changes, we decided to drop the High Magic and add Shadow Magic for the Wood Elves. This way maybe Occams can help with the Dryads, because we tried Flesh to Stone with the Dryads last game and it made them hold out for a while. Yes, they were fighting hell pits the whole time, which, I mean, isn't a very good comparison to other armies. But we're trying to make this Horde of Dryads work, because I feel like there's only so many builds with Wood Elves that people know right now, and Dave is trying to think outside the box and come up with his own ideas that help his army out and, work. So let's get on to magic for my Warp Lightning Engineer. I have Death Frenzy and Warp Lightning. And if I'm playing Elves, I go all Plague. So I got Dreaded 13th, I've got Plague, I've got Blessed with Filth, and Wither. Spells I really like to have. So I know I mentioned this in the last video. Constructive criticism would be helpful, since Dave is only playing, I think this is his 4th game. But he's got so many spells between all of his casters. He has 3 branch wraiths and some other stuff. But we have Awakening of the Wood, Earthblood, and Regrowth, followed by 2 level 4 casters. We got Shield of Thorns, Dwellers Below, Throne of Vines, Flesh to Stone, Melkav's Mystifying Miasma, The Enfeebling Foe, Occams, and the Withering. So this is an interesting combination. I think it should work. I like it. Here's a shot of deployment again. We have the Dryads in the Poison Forest this time, so hopefully that pays off. And then there's some Warhawk Riders hiding behind the building, the Glade Guard Archers a little further back, and then next to that is the Sisters. Before the game starts, my Gracier is wounded by an arrow, and I fail my ward save, so he actually takes a wound. He goes into this game with only 2 wounds left, which is not going to be good, especially when that Waste Stalker could be sniping him across the field. So Winds of Magic, he has 11 dice, I have 8. Looks like the only spell to get through successfully is the Dwellers Below, and I go ahead and lose half of my guys, which is statistically accurate. But they're Plague Monks and they're immune to Psych, so I'll live with it. I mean, my Storm Vermin need to survive. These guys are more to just go deal with stuff, and if they die, they die. But, I mean, having half strength Plague Monks isn't as nice, but I was hoping to get them over to the Glade Guard and then essentially just bash some skulls in when I got there. Even if it was only 10 guys with the Plague Banner, I would have been alright, but nope, not anymore. So Skaven turn 1, I go ahead and march everything up at full, and the Hell Pit cuts off one of the slave units that are stuck. Both Hell Pits move 5 inches, which really blows. So the Gracier goes ahead and kills himself by going into the warp by casting the Dreaded 13th, which sucks, but I do go ahead and kill half of the unit of Dryads, so it's a good trade-off, I guess. I don't know. I need to kill those Dryads to win this game, so yeah, I don't know. I always lose my freaking Gracier. Maybe I should start bringing lists with 2 Graciers. That'd be fun. So Wood Elf turn 2, we have some Glade Riders coming in from behind, ambushing, so they'll probably try taking down a Hell Pit with their flaming arrows of destruction. The Sisters are just running around in the backfield here. And the Warhawk Riders run around over here to the rear or flank of the Storm Vermin. So I did save the Storm Banner for round 2 this game, so the Arrow of Destruction Glade Guard should have some troubles killing my Hell Pits. This guy was my Doom Rocket Engineer this game, and the Way Watcher, or Way Stalker, goes ahead and snipes him out, so the Doom Rocket never gets fired, which is a pretty good play on Dave's behalf. Looks like a Dwellers Below successfully got casted onto my guys, so here I am, and my Storm Vermin are disappearing very quickly. As long as I can keep my Warlord on War Litter alive and my BSB, I think I could still get in there and crush some Dryads in, but this isn't looking too good right now. And a couple more guys die to the miscellaneous shooting from the different units. Oh, and also worth noting is these guys do rank up in ranks of 5, so they're ready to rumble. So, Skaven turn 2. I get ready to move, and let's see what happens. The Storm Vermin false charge, which sucks. And the Hell Pit Abominations lunge forward. The one cuts off the Storm Vermin so they don't get too far forward. We do discover that this forest is a stupid forest, so I forget what we ruled or what we looked up, but I think the Hell Pit, since it's not immune to psychology, still had to take a stupid test before moving. I don't know if that's right or wrong. If anyone wants to comment below, I did not investigate it enough. I'm being lazy right now. That's why I love you guys to tell me I'm wrong or right. But anyway, the Storm Vermin failing to get in is bittersweet because at least now the Warp Fire Thrower can land a nice teardrop on those Dryads and kill some. But I don't have too many Storm Vermin left. I'm starting to get a little nervous. So my Warp Lightning engineer does Warp Lightning, but it gets dispelled, so we go into shooting. The Warp Fire Thrower falls short. I rolled a 4, and I need to get like a 6, 8, or 10 to hit the freaking Dryads. But so the Dryads live. So it would have been really, really nice landing that teardrop, but shit happens. So the Storm Banner is gone. Last turn, the Hell Pits only took 2 wounds from the Arrows of Destruction, which is fantastic. And then we go on into Magic phase. He does get the Withering off onto this Hell Pit, so he's now at a reduced toughness, which is well played. And Throne of Vines might be off. I don't remember, but it does look like we get Awakening of the Wood off, which does some wounds to the Hell Pit also. So then in conjunction with the Glade Riders and the Arrows of Destruction and the Waywatcher, Waystalker hiding in this building and the True Flight Arrow guys here in front of the Hell Pit, they take him down. So this Hell Pit is dead. So the Withering and the Awakening of the Forest was let go on my behalf because I did dispel Occam's Mind Razor, because when it gets back to my turn I need to get into combat with these Dryads and kill them. And I can't do that if they're going to be killing me at strength 8 or 9 or whatever their leadership is. So far, it's been a pretty good showing for the Wood Elves, but now we get into Skaven turn 4 and Storm Vermin are in. Hell Pit gets a flank charge here, and the Slaves go ahead and charge the unit of Glade Guard. I took a bunch of casualties from the counter shot, but I should be able to do some damage here in combat. The Plague Monks false charged. They didn't quite make it. And the slaves from behind are moving up with the level 2 engineer, so maybe he can, well, now he's got nothing to magic missile, which is an issue. I think I tried to death frenzy the slaves, but he gets rid of that, which is probably smart. So, this is what goes down in combat. A bunch of Dryads die. My Warlord on War Litter dies, and I'm not feeling the build anymore. He has 3 wounds, and he had a 2-up armor save. And he failed his armor saves, all of them, and he failed all of his ward saves, so he just dies. The idea behind this guy is, if you watch the last video or my video about making the list, he's got the Warpstone armor, so every time I save a wound with my armor, I do a strength 4 attack back to my opponent, which is fun, it's gimmicky, but with a 2-up armor save, you'd figured you'd pass armors, but no, I was failing them all. So, needless to say, I kill all the Dryads, I reform to face the Glade Guard, and the Hell Pit overruns, but he does not successfully catch the Dryads. And you can see here that the slaves are dead, and they popped. I think they did more damage when they popped than they did in combat. And the Dryads and the hero, one of the level 4 heroes, is still running. So we have a desperate charge over here. We got some Warhawks rear charging the Storm Vermin. And some reforms over here with the Glade Riders and the Glade Guard getting ready to shoot down some more guys. He does have some sizable distance in between me and him where he can get a couple rounds of shooting off, but at this point, with his level 4 caster and the Dryads failing to rally and running off the board, it's going to look a little tight. So at least if that level 4 hero with the Dryads rallied, he could cast some magic, especially since I don't have my level 4. A solid magic phase would have, done well, but yeah. So he gets thrown the vines off and Awakening of the Wood, so that does some damage to the Storm Vermin. In combat, he kills a rank of guys, and I kill a Warhawk and some. And then I end up winning, so he ends up running. I don't have a picture of that. So we end up wrapping it up in Skaven turn 5. I only have this picture and one more, so I apologize. I make a rear charge here, kind of pointless, because he's going to have a Waste Strike first and more attacks, and he's going to kill these rat darts. But the deal sealer was the flank charge onto the Glade Riders from the Plague Monks. They made a pretty long charge here. With the Plague Banner, they're going to reroll missed hits, reroll missed wounds. With 20 attacks, I think he gets in. I get in, maybe 16, maybe that one guy doesn't get in. But at that point, it's a game. Dave calls it. The Storm Vermin are running across the field. And I think Warp Lightning ends up killing a handful of sisters, which is useful too. But yeah, so that's the end of the game there. So here are my thoughts. I don't understand Wood Elves. I really don't. I don't have no desire to play them so I can get better at them or understand them better. I have not watched a lot of battle reports with them either. I just feel like they're tough to play with. I really feel like they're hard, and then there's the sustainable center approach where it's, hey, Wood Elves, if you want to play a really really good list, somebody's going to enjoy the game and somebody is not. There's no happy medium with yourself and your opponent. So you know that there's that. So if you want to play the super crazy run around, deny points, it works. It works for certain games. It works for certain scenarios. It works for certain tournaments. But that depends on what you play and what you do. With Dave's thoughts, I know he says he's probably going to drop some of the branch rates and the Warhawk Riders and bring some Eagles in. I know Eagles are a must. I know he doesn't have them in this list. He doesn't own the model, so he's trying to stick with what he has, which is honorable. But if we get some Eagles in here and drop the Warhawk Riders and some heroes, I think it could be a bit of a more successful list, and only time will tell. So, guys, any comments, ideas, requests, throw them below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.